Hello everyone, with Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Wednesday evening, August 13, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what that's been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Taking a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook that just came out at 7:44 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:44 p.m. Jamaica time. We still see that we have that code yellow that was across the Western Caribbean, now across the Yucatan, expected to push into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico and possibly develop into the next named system. And we still have tropical storm Erin all the way over here in the main development region. And if we take a look at the inferred, we can see all of the entities that we just mentioned, all of the cloud showers and thunderstorms affecting portion of the Yucatan Peninsula associated with that area that could become the next named system. And we have tropical storm Erin all the way over here just to the east of the Lesser Antilles. If we zoom in on what the Hurricane Center stated regarding this code yellow right here, so we're moving from left to right, they stated a broad low pressure area has formed from a tropical wave over the Yucatan Peninsula with disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity. This low is forecast to move west and northwestward across the southwestern Gulf overnight, where environmental conditions are marginally conducive for further development. The system is forecast to move inland over northeastern Mexico by late Friday, ending its chances of formation. And we see that they've given the area a 20% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days and a 20% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And we know that if something should form after Erin, the next name on the list is Fernand. But regarding Erin, we can see all of the clouds, the showers, and the thunderstorms associated with it. We can see that it has quite the tight core. We see all of the reds, all of the blacks, even the grays, purples in there for sure at the last frame. Definitely trying to still get its act together, trying to make it up to hurricane status for sure. And regarding what the spaghetti models from the Euro are showing, still expected to pass just to the north of the Leeward Islands right here. Definitely expected to become a hurricane. Not only the Euro spaghetti models show this, but even the GFS spaghetti models show something similar for sure. System is definitely expected to miss the Caribbean in general. And even the intensity guidance right here in agreement for the most part, taking it up from tropical storm status into category 1, category 2, maybe even category 3 status for sure by the time we head into the next 3 days. So the next 72 hours, the next 3 days. So we're talking about by Saturday it could be a major hurricane for sure. And even the supercomputer model forecasts are showing that yes, it's definitely going to be passing just to the north of the Leeward Islands. This is the Euro by 6Z on Sunday, August 17, which is actually 1 a.m. on Sunday, and we see all of the contour lines, the isobars associated with tropical storm Erin, might be hurricane Erin by that time. We see all of the moisture that could be affecting portions of the Leeward Islands as well, the US and British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Bart's, maybe the eastern portion of the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, getting in on some of the outer bands, showers on the thunderstorms, even some isolated flash flooding. And we see that the GFS is showing something similar, although the GFS by the same time 1 a.m. on Sunday, August 17, has it a bit closer to the north of the Leeward Islands. The Euro has it right here just to the north of, let's say, the US and British Virgin Islands. The GFS has it just to the north of Antigua and Barbuda. Then by the end of the next 7 days, this is the 168-hour out forecast. We're not going to be going out more than this, but this is valid for 12Z on Wednesday, August 20. So 7 a.m. on Wednesday. This is where the system is located on the Euro, just to the north of the Bahamas. Definitely bring some outer bands to the Bahamas. And the GFS has it a bit further away from there, way out to sea right here. So we see that we still have some differences in what the models are showing. We'll see exactly what unfolds, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. And even the US National Hurricane Center, regarding their latest update, definitely showing all of what the spaghetti models and the Euro and the GFS models are showing. Expected to remain a tropical storm as of right now. It is packing maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. We know that tropical storms are basically deemed tropical storms if they pack maximum sustained winds of 39 to 73 mile per hour winds. So if it's packing 50 mile per hour winds, definitely up there in terms of medium range tropical storm strength. And it is currently moving towards the west at 17 miles per hour, where it's expected to make a west-northwestern just to the north of the Leeward Islands. We see the H's coming in play by 2 a.m. on Friday, should become a hurricane. Then by 2 p.m. on Sunday, could become an M that represents a major hurricane status. You know that major hurricanes basically are anywhere from category 3 to category 5 strength, packing anywhere from 111 all the way up to 157 or more mile per hour wind. So let's see what takes place over the next 7 days. Clearly it's going to be just passing just to the north of us, and we're indeed grateful for that. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, there is supposedly a tropical wave right across Jamaica as we speak, but boy, where's the rainfall? These tropical waves these days are so dry. We see numerous broken orange lines right here across the southwestern Atlantic into Florida, associated with some troughs intertwined with high pressure ridges. There's supposedly another tropical wave right here across the eastern Caribbean, and we see that we have tropical storm Erin right here, and another tropical wave right here right across the Cabo Verde Islands as we speak. All of these entities, as we know, are being steered from east to west, all courtesy of the ridges of high pressure to the north. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before we lost sunlight, let us see if we can make out some of these entities. So some of these clouds to the north across the southwestern Atlantic, definitely associated with the numerous troughs that we saw. There's supposedly a tropical wave somewhere in here, but where are the clouds? All we're seeing is just some isolated afternoon thundershowers across western Jamaica. We can also see the clouds associated with that code yellow across the Yucatan. We can kind of make out the clouds associated with that tropical wave across the eastern Caribbean right in here. Then we have Erin right in here. Then there's supposedly another tropical wave right over here. But you can clearly see that all of these entities are being steered from east to west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Wednesday, August 13, 2025. It was stated that rainfall could have been in the forecast for parts of some central and western parishes on Wednesday afternoon. And we know central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? At around 4:25 p.m., the visible satellite image was posted not only here on our Twitter page with the Jamaica, but it was also posted on our Instagram page with the Jamaica, on our TikTok page with the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page with the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So at 4:25, we saw the visible satellite image that was posted and highlighted some clouds bring some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers. Definitely saw some clouds bring some isolated showers section, maybe northern St. Catherine, maybe northern St. Andrew, maybe northern Clarendon. But clearly the thunderstorms, the real deal in terms of bad weather, was across sections of the cockpit country. We're talking about southwestern Trelawney, southern St. James, northwestern St. Elizabeth, section of eastern Westmoreland, southeastern Hanover getting in on the overcast skies, if not the isolated thunder shower activity. I don't know, they're getting in on that lightning strike, if not lightning flashes activity at that time, because of all of the sparkling yellow dots that we saw over there at the time. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images, let us quickly find Jamaica. the visible satellite images of Jamaica today. Before we lost sunlight, look at what was taking place. We definitely had that thunderstorm activity not only across the west, but even across sections of some central parishes for sure, but not really notable like what we saw over here in the west. Definitely across Hanover, Westmoreland, Northwestern St. Elizabeth. That was where the brunt of today's thunderstorm activity was. And even the infrared right here confirming the thunderstorms. We see all of the cumulonimbus clouds as represented by the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, reds. Not to mention the sparkling white dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, especially across northern St. Elizabeth right here. I mean, look at all of the lightning. That's crazy. Some of it across sections of western Hanover as well. And if we take a look at what took place around the Bogwalk Gorge today, the live camera here from C Jamaica's YouTube channel shows what was taking place at around 1:25 p.m. We can see people in their vehicles going about their business. Nothing in lieu of bad weather taking place. Sunny and windy for the most part. The rear Cobra definitely chilling at that time. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit C Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams all for you all to view for free. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. And we have a few comments that came in here on our social media platform confirming the weather for some of our followers. We have Chef_McQueen Fong stating rain on Boulevard Kingston. We have Mullen_OneGod_ stating place Hotman Weather Jamaica. That's in Clarendon. And we even have Randall Green here stating good evening with the Jamaica. We didn't get any rain in St. Anne today. Thanks for confirming. And I guess that's it for all of the comments. Let us reload the very latest still image from the Weather News website. Let us reload the very latest Jamaican Doppler radar imagery, the latest Cuban Doppler radar imagery, the latest Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar, and the latest Cayman radar to confirm what's taking place right now. Alright, so the latest infrared satellite image right here from the Weather News website is showing 0005 UTC, which is actually 7:05 p.m. So this just came out 13 minutes ago, considering that it is 7:18 p.m. right now. And as you can see, nothing across Jamaica at all, just some leftover clouds from what affected Westmoreland and Hanover this afternoon. We see the clouds right here out to sea. Let us see if we can make out some rainfall on the latest Jamaican Doppler radar. Alright, so the latest, hold on, let us go out in time. We can see that yes, we definitely had some moderate to heavy rainfall in the greens, yellows, oranges, reds, especially across section of northern St. Elizabeth, southern St. James, southwestern Trelawney, section of eastern or southeastern Hanover, eastern Westmoreland. Then look at what happened. All of the rainfall quickly pushed off towards the west, if not the west southwest. And then we're going to be stopping it right here. The latest, this is showing 0002 UTC, which is actually 7:02 p.m. And what do we see? We can actually make out some of the rainfall out here to the southwest of us. We see the greens that represent some light rainfall. We also see some decent rainfall right here just to the west of Hanover, maybe even onshore. So it's definitely coinciding with all of these clouds that we see in the milky whitish shades, blues and greens as well. The Cuban Doppler radar glitched out today as usual at around 10:20 a.m., which is actually 9:20 a.m. Jamaica time. Let's not look at that. Let us look at the Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar for right now. Right now, we can definitely see some rainfall right here across portions of Haiti, blues, greens, yellows, light to moderate to heavy rainfall. And we also see some decent rainfall across portions of southeastern Cuba as well, pushing off towards the south and the west. And if we take a look at the Cayman radar definitely confirming what we just saw on the Jamaican Doppler radar. All of that rainfall just to the west of Jamaica, right here to the west of Hanover, to the southwest of us. All of that pushing out to sea as we speak. Taking a look at what's happening right now, according to the live camera here from C Jamaica's YouTube channel, we can see that Orange Street, downtown Kingston, is bustling, very busy as usual at this time. But the weather should be fair for the most part. Nothing in the way of bad weather going to be taking place this evening at all. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we're at 28 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Thursday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay and Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Thursday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Thursday, and we can see Jamaica right here, embedded in some grays and some yellows that represents average to at least 1 degree Celsius above average temperature. I know the average temperature for the month of August across Jamaica is around 91 degrees Fahrenheit, and when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that's around 32.8 degrees Celsius, so it should be receiving anywhere from 32.8 to 33.8 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Thursday. And we're grateful we don't see any maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS online Twitter page. And we usually highlight these because we know that when we have power outages somewhere across the island, it can definitely make the heat feel even worse because we don't have our fan or AC to cool us down. So we're grateful that it doesn't seem like we have any power outages for August 14. But we can't stop power outages from taking place. We have some crazy people on the road. Sometimes this happens, hitting down light posts and all these things. It's just crazy. Either way, if tomorrow is going to be a bit too hot for you, we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, dress down, wear lightweight clothing and use sunscreen. Check on others including children, elderly people with medical conditions and pets. Be cool, stay indoors and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough the importance of keeping hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water even if you're not thirsty, and put away those sugary drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the queue on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, the whites within those reds, and we see a lot of dry air extending all the way from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean right here, even into the southern Bahamas. We see the yellows into the oranges, and the most dry air, as we can see, is right here off the coast of Africa. It makes sense. A lot of Saharan dust is up there. We know that the dry air is responsible for keeping the atmosphere stable, making it harder for it to rain. But what we're liking that we're seeing is the increase in the moisture. And notice that we have the moisture wherever we have the blues, and wherever we have the blues, that's where we have the grays. That represents the cloud cover. So that across the main development region, the intertropical convergence zone, the southwestern Atlantic of the east coast of the US into the Gulf right here to the south of Central America. And we wish we had more moisture across the entire basin so that we get more rainfall to keep water in our pipes. But regarding the Saharan dust forecast, we're heading into the next 3 days. So today is August 13th, tomorrow is the 14th of August, then the 15th. And for the next 3 days, as you can see, that crazy plume of Saharan dust, it has been passing to the south of Jamaica today, and we're grateful for that. Even although we see some slight haze in the sky, tomorrow is going to be way less than that. On August 14, August 15 as well, definitely dwindling for the most part. But as you can see, look what's across the main development region. A lot of Saharan dust definitely out there, and the oranges and the pinks pushing, and we can even see the outline of tropical storm Erin somewhere in here pushing through. It's going to be a very interesting next 7 days for sure, but we're grateful that we're not getting in on a crazy vigorous plume of Saharan dust at all of the brunt of it passing to the south, heading into Central America as we speak, and for the next 2 days as well, August 15 into the 16th. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, this map from the Euro is showing the waves, and we can clearly see them as represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. The light shades of blues to dark shades of blues represents anywhere from 0 to 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height, and we can see the highest waves right here to the northern portion of the main development region. That's where we have tropical storm Erin definitely churning up the seas for sure. So we're seeing anywhere from 2 maybe up to 5, maybe even close to 6 meter wave heights out there, and we see that's because of the winds that Erin is going to be churning up. Look at the anti-clockwise flow around the area of circulation. Definitely bring some strong wind, getting up into the tropical storm force wind potential to cause those strong winds for sure. But clearly, across the Caribbean, not so strong winds at all, anywhere from 10 to 15 knots, and that's making sense regarding the waves that we see here. The blues represents 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights, and if we zoom in on Jamaica regarding our waves, To the north of Portland tomorrow, 0.9 of a meter wave height. To the north of St. Anne, 0.6 of a meter wave height. To the north of Hanover, 0.5 of a meter wave height. To the south of Westmoreland, 0.5 of a meter wave height. To the south of Clarendon, 0.6 of a meter wave height. And to the south of St. Thomas, 0.9 of a meter wave height expected. And that's because of the winds that are expected tomorrow. Look at the wind. Don't seem to be strong at all. That's good. That means more afternoon rainfall. Look at that, 9 knots to the south of St. Thomas. Coming in from the, it looks like east-northeast, averaging 10 knots to the north of St. Anne. And look at where the air is piling up. It looks like it's more so piling up across sections of some southern parishes. It looks like central and western, but it's more so southern and western parishes. And the upper level winds seem to be coming in from the southeast tomorrow. Very interesting. Very, very interesting forecast. Either way, in terms of the actual rainfall forecast for tomorrow, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing what's expected across Jamaica in terms of rainfall by around 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is actually 6 a.m. Jamaica time. And we can definitely see that rainfall across the waters to the east of us, some of it even on land across far eastern Portland, eastern St. Thomas. It looks like some early morning rainfall could be in store for some of those areas, maybe northern and eastern Jamaica. We'll see how that plays out. Then it's by afternoon that we actually see the rainfall for real. Both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are showing 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time. And we do see that rainfall across sections of especially southern and western parishes. So it looks like it's going to be maybe across sections of St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, maybe southern or southeastern Hanover, southern St. James, southwestern Trelawney getting in on some of the action. And we clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in agreement with that forecast. I might even get in on some of the rainfall for sure, and I am grateful for that. We'll see it actually plays out. Either way, in terms of the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps here from the Euro and the GFS, they're both adamant that it's going to be raining somewhere in Jamaica within the next 24 hours. The Euro going up to at least 0.3 of an inch of rainfall. The GFS going up to at least 0.58 of an inch of rainfall. And whatever happens, we'll definitely take it because we're in the month of August, and in Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive close to 100 millimeters of rainfall for the month. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive close to 5 inches of rainfall for the month. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of August or for the entire year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters that we receive on the rain gauge. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. Alright, we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top as we go to the next 168 hours. That stands for the next 7 days. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens. That represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. Alright, so we just looked at Thursday's forecast. Now it's time to look at what's expected on Friday. 12Z on Friday, August 15. That's around 7 a.m. We see some rainfall to the north of Jamaica by that time. Then let's see what's expected for Friday afternoon. Look at that. Rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. And it looks to be more southern parishes too. Interesting. What does the GFS show? Friday morning, rainfall to the west, south, and east of us. Friday afternoon, rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes, just like what the Euro was showing as well. Let us see what Saturday morning shows. On Saturday morning, the Euro not really showing much of anything across Jamaica. Saturday afternoon, something similar, definitely dry for the most part. A lot of moisture coming into portion of the Leeward Islands associated with the outer band of Tropical Storm Erin, if not Hurricane Erin by that time. On Saturday morning on the GFS, not really much of anything, just like what the Euro was showing. Saturday afternoon, look at that, some contrast. The GFS is showing rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica. The Euro was not showing anything. We'll see what that plays out for Saturday afternoon. For Sunday morning, what do we see? We see a trail of grains that represent moisture extending from maybe Haiti into eastern Jamaica on the Euro. What does the GFS, well, what does the afternoon look like? We start to see rainfall across eastern, central, and maybe western parishes. And look at Erin right here. Very interesting to the north of Puerto Rico. What does the GFS show for the same time period? Sunday morning, nothing. Sunday afternoon, rainfall across eastern, central, and western Precipitation. Erin right in here bringing some decent rainfall to portion of the northeastern Caribbean. Let us see what Monday morning looks like. Monday morning, not really seeing much of anything across Jamaica. Monday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across some central parishes. On the Euro, what does the GFS show? Monday morning, nothing. Monday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. What do we see for Tuesday morning? Tuesday morning, don't really see much of anything. Tuesday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. And we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for 6Z on Wednesday, August 20. And we don't see much of anything across Jamaica. We do see Erin though, right here to the north of the Bahamas, looking very formidable at that time. And look here, just to the east of the Caribbean. Is that a red L that we see? Could that be a possible something trying to get its act together? Don't see it in the next run, but it's right here and we see some moisture surrounding it. Could be a decent tropical wave. That's according to the Euro though. Do we see it on the GFS? First of all, Tuesday morning, nothing for us. Tuesday afternoon, rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. Then we're stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours as well. And we're actually seeing the moisture that the Euro was showing. But we don't see crazy, yellows or anything like that. No red L's at all. We'll see how that actually plays out. Whatever happens, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Either way, in terms of the total accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are adamant that the waters to the north of the Caribbean are going to be getting crazy rainfall. Look at all of the dark reds into the purples, into the pinks. All of this representing anywhere from 2 all the way up to maybe 5, maybe 6, 7, 8 inches of rainfall, all courtesy of what Tropical Storm Erin is expected to bring. We also see the usual dark reds into the purples and the pinks across sections of Northern South America into Central America as well. That represents anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rainfall. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS more. So they're in for some isolated flash flooding. While other areas that are shaded in the greens, yellows, oranges, and reds as usual, anywhere from the Bahamas into the Greater Antilles, into the Lesser Antilles, should be getting in at least an inch or less of rainfall. But regarding Jamaica's total accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days, let us find Jamaica's total accumulated precipitation. Alright, so in terms of Jamaica's totals, what's expected for us? So we're going out to the next 168 hours on both the Euro and the GFS. Not really much change I'm expecting. There we go. So this map from the Euro, and we're going to be finding GFS as well. And this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until August 20. The Euro, a bit more reserved with the rainfall. Blues into the greens represents anywhere from a millimeter all the way up to maybe 20-25 millimeters of rainfall at most from the eastern end to the western end of the island. And we know most of this rainfall will be during the afternoon, especially across central and western parishes. The GFS, on the other hand, is showing rainfall up to the 37 millimeter. Hold on, that's not even 37. That's 87. And there we see it. Anywhere from 80 to 90, that's in the pinks. That's crazy. Across sections of St. Elizabeth. That's crazy rainfall amounts according to the GFS. And we know that most of this rainfall is going to be during the afternoon hours. We'll see how this actually plays out. Very interesting forecast. And to be honest, I think this rainfall is what's expected over the next 3 days. If you remember what the 7-day forecast maps are showing. And we have to pay close attention to what this GFS map is showing too, because the GFS is more accurate when it comes to the afternoon rainfall, not necessarily regarding the tropical cyclone formation probabilities, because we see that the Euro usually wins when it comes to those, but GFS usually wins when it comes to the afternoon rainfall. So we have to pay close attention. We could be in for some more rainfall over the next 7 days, and no complaints here. We're grateful for that. All right. Taking a look at what's happening across the rest of the Caribbean. Not really seeing much of anything across the central Caribbean. An isolated shower or two passing through the windward islands associated with that tropical wave. Let us see what's happening near Puerto Rico as we speak. You can actually see some hit or miss isolated showers in and around Puerto Rico and the US and British Virgin Islands. We also see some rainfall to the east of Guadeloupe and Dominica. Today we had some very heavy rain across southwestern Puerto Rico though. Regarding Barbados radar, we can definitely see some decent rainfall passing to the north of Barbados, pushing into Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent as well. Don't really see much of anything affecting Trinidad and Tobago right now, but that could change. Let's see what's happening on the weather via Doppler radar images. We can actually see that rainfall across the Yucatan associated with that area. That could be the next name on this list. We can also see some rainfall across portion of Northern South America, nothing new. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are adamant that within the next 24 hours, we could definitely get in on some amount of rainfall across sections of Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, section of Puerto Rico, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, southeastern Nicaragua, sections of El Salvador, southern Guatemala, western Honduras, section of the Yucatan getting in on some amount of rainfall as well. So look out for that rainfall within the next 24 hours. Taking a look at what's happening across the eastern to the central Pacific, nothing. And this is why the infrared not really showing much of anything, just some isolated thunder showers here and there strung out in the intertropical convergence zone. Nothing organized at this time. On the western Pacific side of things, we're still watching tropical storm Podol right over here, now affecting portion of eastern China. Taking a look at the infrared, it definitely crossed over from Taiwan into China. I'm pretty sure that we're going to be getting footage of the damage and if not flooding that is causing the portion of China as we speak. And we know that we have to highlight these because we definitely have friends or relatives who live or work in Taiwan, China, all of these areas in the western Pacific. So we have to keep abreast of what's happening. As of right now, Podol, its packing maximum sustained winds of 45 knots. So that would make Podol a tropical storm anywhere from 34 to 64 knots. Regarding the tropical storms, expected to continue pushing off towards west-northwest, definitely decreasing in intensity. So by the 14th day of August, should be back to a 25 knot, if not a 20 knot system that could be around tropical depression, if not less than that. But we saw that Podol definitely made landfall across southern Taiwan, and as such, we have some footage here. This is Weather Monitor on Twitter. You need to follow them if you aren't already. This is what they stated. Flooding is occurring right now following Typhoon Podol in Kenting, Taiwan. As expected, they definitely got some heavy rainfall, all courtesy of that typhoon, hurricane, whatever you call it. I mean, look at the inundation that took place, and you have people driving around in that. That's crazy. Another video right here stating the hurricane was hitting Taitung, that city in Taiwan, right in here. Look at the strong wind. Somebody have to be holding their window. Look at these areas being blown away. That's crazy. Look at this, a window tearing down, and that was just a category 2 hurricane. We even have another one right here. Look at the strong winds ripping parts of buildings apart, heavy rainfall taking place. This is what typhoons, if not hurricanes, come with. We don't want any more of that at all. Barely last year was enough for us. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.